Hey everybody. Okay, we're back. We are back. One Piece 1130. Guess what? We're exactly on time today. Not only is it about to be that time, it is that time. Okay? I'll probably count how many times I've been on time on one hand. And maybe it's only one finger. Maybe this is the only time it's ever happened. I don't know. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. Alright. So, seeing things in the chat about me getting spoiled. Maybe? I don't know. I was just on the Discord earlier, and then literally, like, I don't know, an hour or two ago. And, I don't know, someone was talking about Loki, so I guess Loki's in the chapter. And then there was some sort of an image, but I kind of, like, scroll past these sorts of things and kind of wipe them from my mind. If I get to the chapter and I see something that's vaguely like whatever I saw, then I'll be like, okay, that's what I saw. You know, like, now, like, I don't actually have a fully formed image in my head. Whatever. We're gonna get into this. Okay, so looking at page 1 here, the Accursed Prince. Okay, so I mean, like, the chapter title tells me that we're probably going to see Loki anyway. Which is good, and, you know, I did suggest, you know, what if Loki is in a change of pace, like the early character that we meet. So, because it could be interesting if we, like, meet Loki pretty early, he starts as our friend, but then we realize that he's actually responsible for so much, like, bad stuff in the country. Makes for, you know, a pretty decent twist later on. So we've got Yamato and Tama hanging out. I thought that was Shinobu, but it looks like it's just Yamato's bag. And then we have someone here holding out a sword. Is that supposed to be Yamato's sword? Is Yamato a swordsman now? What sword is that? Do we recognize the sheath? I don't know. Oh, Yasuie's sword. Interesting. Okay. It does look like a smile fruit. Was Yamato given Yasuie's sword? Was that part of the cover story and I forgot? I don't know, we'll see. It's probably going to be like, what was that character's name? Was it Onimaru? No. The character that could turn into a fox. Like, you know, maybe it's like this sword actually belongs at the gravesite or something. I don't know. Anyway, next page. Okay. Alright, so thank you. We are going somewhere else. The ending of the last chapter did invite the opportunity for us to, like, check in on everybody else, because it was... The last chapter ended with the Straw Hats getting out of immediate danger, so we don't necessarily need to, like, see what they're seeing on the other side of the wall just yet. So we're here. We've got Frankie. Listen up, warriors of Elbaf. The search is over. To make a long story short, we searched and searched, and we didn't find nothing. But we know they're alive. Is it because they have the Weaver card? They're alive and well, so thanks for trying so hard to find them for us. It really warms my heart. I like this Frankie outfit. It's ridiculous, but it's on brand. Yes, let's wait for them in Elbaf. We're all heading to the same place. Indeed, my shark network didn't turn up anything either. We're just grateful that you went to such lengths to search. Plus, we're out of food. No point any of this if you all starve in the process. Well, that's an interesting note, especially if we do pull up for winter solstice, and, you know, so they can't continue to eat. I see. Well, if their own crew says so, they're fine. That seals it. Steer us back to Elbaf, boys. Let's toast to our safe return. We're out of food and drink, Captain. Gahahaha. Next page. It's huge. Look at this tree. How many thousands of years old is it? Okay, so that looks like the wall that they broke through. They are in a wintry part of Elbaf, which is very in keeping with Norse mythology. Jotunheim, Niflheim, Helheim, all those kinds of places are often depicted as snowy areas in Norse mythology. Jotunheim seems to like transition between, so it doesn't necessarily mean that this is Jotunheim, because Jotunheim can be like a spring area as well, but it depends on, you know, where you're looking. Most of the time, you know, the frost giants and all that kind of stuff, they're presented that way. Would be interesting if we get some clarification on like the Yeti Cool brothers here. Let's see. So we've got a new castle. We have a new tree that reaches up into the clouds. The real Yggdrasil, maybe the treasure tree Adam. We've talked about that. Okay, are they all like this? So big. Imagine like they are. This is just another prison. This is just a little bit bigger, and then they have to go through another wall, and then it's even bigger. This is how we get through the 9 realms. All right. So anyway, is that a mountain? It's freezing. How long the rope bridge is? The rope bridge. Oh, that's interesting. So the rope bridge goes into the sky above the tree. And I did say that maybe the different realms would be, you know, on the tree, like in Yggdrasil lore. So it's like maybe if they go above the rope, they'll get into an area that's not cold. You know, it'll be like a different town or a different city. This could be Oda's way of giving us multiple different worlds. And I'm still on page 2, technically. 3, really, but anyway. Alright, so Nami's talking here. Wait a minute, it's so vast, I feel like I'm getting dizzy just looking at it. Hi, there's giants coming down the bridge. Okay, alright. First interaction. Okay, wait, I'm actually on page 4. I double tapped the button there. Ooh, Gerd and Goldberg. Hey, so that means Hajradin should be around. Why did Hajradin have to bring that weirdo onto the crew? Alright. Shout out. This is fun. So Luffy's gonna get to meet, like, his other subordinates that he doesn't even know. Well, that's because he's a good navigator. Okay, and as I talked about in the big Elbaf video, most giants are inspired by or based on wrestlers. And there is a wrestler, Bill Goldberg, So that's who Goldberg is based on. Goldberg was born around the same time as Road and Prince, going back to the Mother Carmel flashback. So, just to give you guys an idea here. And Gerd was the girl in the Mother Carmel flashback that was friends with Linlin. Okay, so Linlin, so Gerd here should be anywhere from 6 to 20 years older than Goldberg, depending. I like the owl. Well, I hate him. Loki's not the shame of Elbaf, it's him. Okay, so Loki is... Okay. Interesting, interesting. The shame of Elbaf. Something's going on with Loki. And apparently, finding out that Road is the shame of Elbaf, that's only going to make Road happier. And the translation that they're going with now is Rodo. I'm just going to keep calling him Road. I don't... Unless... Is Road actually supposed to be Rado? And he's Rowdy Piper. He might be Roddy Piper. I'm gonna go with that for now. All right. No. Yo, the owl is named Piper? Yo, what? No. No. That's crazy. That's one of that. So I don't know if you guys. Okay, that's one of the wildest. Legitimately one of the wildest things that I've ever, like, during a live reaction, like, for personally for me to, like, stop and, like, kind of have this realization about Road and be like, is he Rowdy Piper? And then go to the next line of dialogue and it's Gerd calling the owl Piper, like, out of no, like, what? I'm just I don't even actually understand how to comprehend that. That is... Oh my god. All right. No one can tell me that I am not, like, on point with this wrestler thing that Oda's doing with these guys. All right. Sorry, guys. Okay. You saw it, didn't you, Piper? His crow was carrying a little boat in its mouth. Ooh. Intruders have to be caught, of course. Barado creates intruders on his own. All his own. Whatever speak they're trying to give Goldberg is really kind of, it's, like, confusing to read. They're hiding from them, not realizing, like, hey, buddy, that's your crew. Talal said, was WWE big in Japan? So was WCW. Like, the 80s, 90s, you know, like that wrestling, like all of that stuff. I talked about it in the big Elbaf video, but it's like Brogy and his bruiser axe, Bruiser Brody. Dory has a sword named Terry, the Terry sword, right? But Dory and Terry Funk were a family of wrestlers. We just got the ship, Dory and Brogy's ship, the Great Eric, right? The Von Erich brothers. Kevin, Carrie, Fritz, all of that. Like, they... Iron Claw, 2023 movie, all about the Von Erichs. And if you see that movie, you know, there's a whole part about one of the Von Erich brothers, like, going to Japan because everything is huge in Japan. You have Bill Goldberg here. Now you've got Rowdy Roddy Piper and Piper. Hajradin is, like, Macho Man Randy Savage, just, like, by the glasses and everything. And I feel like I'm missing one. But anyway, oh yeah, I'm on page 5. Chief Jarl is alive? That was 60 years ago. That was like 63 years ago. And he was already like 350, so this dude's like 400 and something? That's blowing my mind. Oh. Ja Rule. You know, that's it. I'm not calling him Jarl anymore. This man's a Ja Rule. Oh, man. We're about to have another fire festival? Alright. You hear that? Did you hear that, people? They said the name Elbaf. We've got to be there. I didn't know there were giants so beautiful. Of course, Sanji's falling over Gerd. Hey, guys, where... They said intruders get caught. Alright, so they turn around. I don't see nothing. I imagine that? I think so. Road, you in there? Whoa, it shakes a lot. It's so long. We gotta hurry. If those giants come back, there's nowhere to hide. Luffy's just standing on the rope. Giant-sized bridge means every step is a pit to avoid. Don't worry, Nami. I used to balance on ropes all the time. I'm good at this. It's a trial fit for a brave warrior. The forest below is packed with giant wolves. Giant wolves. Yeah. I see Barry in the chat. You might be getting your Fenrir after all. What's up, Luffy? You feel that too? Something's tingling. Yeah, spider sense is going off. Next page. This is a fun chapter. Well, I'm not going. Then neither are you. You're not setting foot in any forest in the entire world. It's whoever I heard roaring back of the Block Kingdom, I think. You guys keep going across the bridge. What? So Luffy jumps off the bridge. What are you doing, Luffy? Be brave, Usopp. Where are you going? It's all wolves down there. Okay, so the balancing on ropes is a good thing. So I just realized that was Chopper saying that. Which, when I first saw the rope bridge, one of my initial thoughts was back to Drum with Chopper, like, running up and down the rope. So I'm glad that Oda, like, you know, came back and brought that. Shout out to Barry, member for 41 months. I'm nothing if not a wolf girl. Well, I am a I'm a wolf boy, wolf man, because I can't remember if it's Randy or Randall, but anyway, the name means wolf. Like, my name means wolf. So, like the etymology or whatever. Okay, so they're still on the bridge. Next page. Okay, we're back to the Great Eric. Great Von Eric. What does it say? We attack. Oh, we getting some news? Okay. We getting some news? Is it newspaper time? Okay. We attacked Egghead. Yes, that was in the morning paper. Why would they lie about us? They're sitting here acting like this is, you know, this should be par for the course at this point. We got a lot of people in here. Like 400 people in here. Let's get these likes up. There's 400 people in here, only 90 likes. So if you like this content, come on. Make a name for yourself.
Come with me if you want to live.
Okay. Ooh, wanted posters. Wanted posters. I'm not going down just yet. Okay. It's too tiny to see. I'll read it for you. The giant pirate crew returns after a century of slumber. Okay, so this is going to be Dorian Broggie, maybe. I'm on Manga Plus, so like I have it like stopped at the wanted line, so I'm not even seeing the posters yet. I'm just reading the text. With Emperor Straw Hat Luffy, they set the seas around Egghead Aflame. Captains of the giant pirate crew, Broggie the Red Ogre, Dory the Blue Ogre, are each worth a bounty of 1.8 billion. Yes! We have bounties. Yeah, let's go, baby. This is big news. Man, they got updated pictures. Actually, have I been updating the page counter? I think I've been so into the chapter that I gotta see what am I on here. So this is, so I'm actually on page 8. Okay. All right, so I love this Dorian Broggie page. Let's see. Okay, keep going. Read me the paper, Robin. Read it to me. 1.8 billion. I didn't think we were back in action. You were each at 100 million back in the day, right? That's a big jump. Of course. Inflation means the currency value has changed a lot in 100 years. That seems appropriate for an Elbaf warrior chieftain now. That's crazy. Because their combined total is nuts also. It's like Yonko level. Alright. Meanwhile, our captain is the culprit who murdered Vegapunk. Copy. Another masterclass in lies and distortions. Okay. Ugh. Look at his arm. On his left arm is the X. When did he have that on there? He's got his left arm has the Vivi Goodbye X. So, anyway, wahaha, so he killed me, did he? Shut up, you know he was protecting you to the end. When was this picture taken? At some point in Egghead, I'm sure. The World Economic Journal has people everywhere. They'll pay good money for photographs. It's just... yeah, alright. Oda's workarounds here. Next page. Wait a second. Okay, so they're actually going to talk about the mark. When Luffy turns into his free form, does this mark appear on his arm? Does it? He's usually moving around so much, I've never gotten a good look. None of the people here know what that means. It seems unnatural to me. Vivi is there! Vivi wants them. This is 3D2Y post time skip. This is Vivi. Oh my god. Vivi put the X on the arm. She's letting them know where she is. Oh, Cook! Cook! This is 3D2Y part 2. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
なんというビッグニュースなんというビッグニュースなんというビッグニュース
I'm about to make a name for myself here.
Yeah. We in here.
Together we're stronger. Together
You know how
we're
long
stronger.
I've been waiting for this? Shout out to Barry with the 5 gifts. Oh my god. And it's like
You loyal.
Vivi would exactly do this, because think about it. Anytime that we would go back to Vivi afterwards, it was always because she was reading the newspaper and analyzing everything that they were doing. Vivi knows that Luffy, like, exactly does this kind of stuff. Oh my god. Emil Diaz, member for 41 months, said, honestly, took you longer than expected to notice. I got it, though. I got it. I didn't need no help. I mean, I noticed the X immediately, and then, you know, and then it, like, smacked me. Let's see. Okay. His hand is blurred, but the mark is crystal clear. There we go. Strange detail to focus on. It just seems familiar to me. Yeah, I mean, well, she was technically there, but, you know, she doesn't know the meaning of what it means. Amazing to think that Straw Hat's considered equals with red hair now. We had this youngster named Hyridin on our old crew. I hear he's your follower now. He's the son of a king too, you know. Was a real tempestuous brat, though. Hyridin is the son of a king. That's crazy. How? Wait, no, hold on. No. This is a plot hole. Because Hyridin was a kid during the Mother Carmel flashback. And he did say that he was waiting for them to come back. But Dory and Broggy should have been on Little Garden for like 30 years at that point, at least. And in the flashback with Dory and Broggy, they were already adults at 30 years old. Implying that Hyrutin would have been about 30-something at that point then to know them, or maybe even upwards of 50, but he was drawn as a kid. So why was he aging slower than they were? I don't know. We'll talk about that later. He was he? They wanted to come get you too, but in the end it was only us old-timers. He's been a trouble back in Elbaf. Trouble? Okay, they're going to get into the Linland stuff. Next page. It happened while the captains were away. See, in Elbaf, King had another official child known as the Accursed Prince. So Loki and Hyrutin are brothers? Okay. Interesting. Even more interesting that Hyrutin would have been like outside of a castle. He committed all manner of evil acts and was sentenced to crucifixion a few years back. Okay, but nearly escaped his punishment. Took all of our warriors to get him under control. Okay, so Loki's got some strength. Unless we're not talking about Loki, but we probably are. All of the giant warriors of Elbaf together? Would his name happen to be ... Yeah, he's got a few screws loose. His desperate desire for a legendary devil fruit passed down through he wants to be the sun god. He wants Luffy's fruit. Ooh. Okay. Led him to kill his father, King Harald, and eat the fruit. Okay, wait. Something different. Okay, so Harald has the fruit. Okay. Eagle fruit, raven fruit, some sort of manifestation fruit. A rubber fruit. Something different. Let's see. The next time that Loki, the Accursed Prince, is unleashed, the world will be brought to ruin. Copy. He is the shame of Elbaf, and Luffy is about to unlock his cage or something. Okay. The next page, we got this double page spread. This is what I saw in the general of the Discord, but I didn't put together exactly what it was. But now that I'm seeing it, I see what I saw. So this is Loki. Once again, silhouettes defy everything. But I like that Oda made his horns kind of like the Marvel Loki a little bit. This is interesting. Name yourself. I'm Luffy, the man who will be king of the pirates. King. Where am I and who are you? Alright, here's hoping we have another page here. Okay, good. Another page. Look at that tree! Look at that tree! Look at the tree! And then you see the other towns and everything are built on top of the tree. Yes, this is what this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is it. That sword is unreal. If there was somebody who could actually wield that sword at some point in the story, that's insane. Elbaf is literally just a tree. Why did Oda... Is this... Wait, hold on. Is this the way it is in the Raw? Did Oda change the spelling of Elbaf himself? Don't tell me Oda went with this PH nonsense. Tell me in the Raw it's got the F. All right, let's read the. All right, this is Warland. Elbaf's Kingdom of Warriors. Most powerful nation in the world, which once lived and breathed warfare. Okay. Keep in mind, the thing that we know about the Treasure Tree Atom is that it came from, the wood comes from a land of perpetual war. I might be, a little off in the trend, I mean, either way, you go back to, I don't know, 420 something, and you'll see Frankie mention it. Implying that he very well could have gotten the wood from Elbaf. And I am the sun god? Who brings the world to an end? Loki. I said last week, Loki is still going to consider himself the sun god. And I got a comment. I didn't have a chance to respond to it, but they were like, why would there be another sun god if we just did this trope? And Randy, why do you believe that this would be the case? And it's just like, it's the only thing that makes sense in the story to me. Like, if we're going to get to a point where we have to confront all of this stuff about Luffy, this is the way to do it. So you have a situation where Road is pretending to be Loki because he probably looks up to Loki. Rado, whatever, he probably looks up to Loki and wants to be him. So that's what that whole simulation was. But then we get here, and we meet him, and he really thinks and believes that he is the sun god.
You loyal.
This is sensational. And he has stuff covering his eye. So did this man lose an eye? I think Loki's only got one eye. So we might be getting an Odin-Loki amalgamation here. Combination. I still would like to see Luffy sacrifice an eye at some point, Elbaf. And it would be interesting if these two characters are meant to be dark parallels, because as we can see here, Loki's potentially missing his right eye, but Luffy, if he was going to lose any eye, it would be his left, because that's where the scar is. That's the side of his face that he stabbed in Chapter 1. So, yeah. Whew, man, there's a lot to analyze here. This is... I want more from the paper, though. I want more from the paper. What a chapter. We're cooking with gas. We're really starting it here. Yeah. Get our first full look at Elbaf. That thing is majestic. Yeah.
なんというビッグニュース
You loyal.
All right, let's take a look at the chat here. JSD Dream reminded us that Hajradin said that he needed Ace's fruit to become king of the giants. So it'd be interesting if the fire fruit has something to do with giant lore. And keep in mind, okay, that we learned from the extended material about Ace, right, that the chest that housed the Maramara no Mi was inside, eaten by a giant bird who was near an Elbafian ship. So the Maramara no Mi already has ties to the giants, and that's something there. Yeah.
Savage.
Wait, is that real? Wheezy Bird said Chapter 1130, Loki in the MCU is variant LL 1130. Are you serious? Like, is that a true fact? Grotstock supered and said the volume 24 back cover shows Vivi in front of a tree with a ton of swords, possibly hinting Oda planned Vivi to return to the uncuttable Atom Tree. I'm gonna have to go back and look at that. But as I've been saying, Vivi and Elbaf. Evo said, TCB explained that they may have decided to follow Viz on their spelling, but it doesn't look definitive as canon now or anything. Elbaf, PH in the Raws.
You loyal.
Grotstock supered again and said, since Ja Rule is alive, he likely
Savage.
met Nolan 400 years ago, because Nolan's main goal is always finding new plants and trees as a botanist. That would be interesting, actually. I would love if we, circle back to that. Jin said Atom Tree or Eve Tree. So the Eve Tree connects its roots down to Fishman Island. So it's a different tree. But we don't know the location of the Atom Tree. So, and as I said in the big video that I did, it may be Yggdrasil to the locals and the Atom Tree to everybody else, which could be like Oda's way of kind of tying the way that like Christianity and Catholicism and the Bible kind of forced out the ideals of Norse mythology. So it's like, if Oda wants to go that route, we could get something like that. Did I see the hammer on his back? I did not. Let me see. Oh, okay. Yeah. I could see how that could be seen as a hammer. So that might be our first look at Mjolnir. If it's mythologically accurate, it will be able to change size, and then Usopp should be able to use it. I really want this to be Usopp's opponent more than Luffy's, but, we'll see. Oda kind of drew him a little too chatty, so it seems like this might be a Luffy thing. If he's really as evil as everybody's saying, this is an ideal of Sun God versus Sun God here. Kill was bloody, so 10 out of 10 chapter, bro, easy. I mean, yeah. Lucas White said the most Randy coded chapter there ever was. I love it. It's got all the things I love. I needed this. Blazer has said human fruit model Surtur or Sun Logia. Sun Logia. I mean, if you wanted to take fire to magma and then, like, go even further, I mean, a sun, like, the power of the sun. Whew. That's ridiculous, but most things in One Piece are. And a model Surtur, that could be pretty interesting. Evo Warrior, member for 41 months, said, it's been a hot while, but I had to pop in for this chapter. We'll watch back the whole reaction soon. Elbaf looks absolutely fire. Yeah. We're in for it. Oh, did we see a rainbow? Leonardo Martin said we saw a rainbow. So we got some Bifrost action. Haven't had a chance to like really look at everything. Yeah, there is like a little bit of a rainbow up in the upper level. Well, the mid level. The Midgard, I guess. So I wonder if that'll be like Asgard or something. Technically speaking, they're down in this lower area, so they could essentially be in Niflheim now. You know, or Helheim, and that's why Loki would be tied up down there, and everybody else is, you know, up top where it's nice. And then there's got to be like a Valhalla, you know, at the very tip of it all. Or some way that, like, takes us to the moon, or something, like... There's got to be more above the tree. It can't just end there. Okay, yeah, we had a little bit of a like spike when I asked for likes. So, but, you know, let's get some more, guys. You know, we're cooking today. Whew. Jacob said this chapter moved me. I am moved as well. Robert Trinka, appreciate the super, thank you, said the tree is amazing. I'm glad the ideas we had for how it will look was close. Elbaf spelling could be from the page editors. We have had romanizations done incorrectly before and fixing the volume. Yeah, not only that, I mean, there's been contradictory romanizations of Marie Joie, Mary Joyce, Marijoa, you know, like, there's been so many, like, different versions of it. And, Nefertari, Nefeltari, you know, there's a lot of stuff. It's hard to, like, kind of pin something down as official. Both of his eyes are covered, but one seems to be more covered than the other. Some people think that Loki is blind. Maybe. Alejandro Salas, member for 60 months, said world's strongest Gorosei versus weakest Elbaf wolf. We'll need to see it. Unknown Krish, is Vivi coming? I mean, she's sending a message to everybody. It's time. Drop those Vivis in the chat. Especially those Vivi cooks. Seal Vlad Ivanovici supered and said, similarities between Loki and Ors II. Both introduced chained up in a frozen place. Good. Yep, okay. Loki's belt has a skull on it. Ors had 3. Okay. So, how much of this is supposed to resemble Thriller Bark, then? Keep in mind, you know, like, Thriller Bark, when you take into consider everything that happened at the end of the arc, very sun god coded, right? Luffy literally saves everybody from the sun by turning into Nightmare Luffy and returning the shadows. There's a lot of things that, you know, you can take the end of Thriller Bark and kind of analyze it and understand, you know, that Oda always had this sort of sun theme with Luffy baked into the story. So if we can find a way to sort of like flip that, taking what was said earlier about a sun fruit, you know, like if Luffy is literally saving everybody from the sun, like that is about to kill everybody. That would be like, like a one up of all of that. And a good parallel there. Look at those Vivis. Love to see it. Kip/CUA said, my favorite part was Robin explaining inflation in the context of One Piece. Yeah. Oda said on November 5th he's answering 10 questions pertaining to the future of the series. What? When did he say that? Adamisk Superin said, gonna need that fan letter watch party review from Randy. Vivi stocks up, Loki stocks up, inflation piece is real. A lot of people talking about the fan letter. I want to watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna do it on stream. I'll have to see. Enzo Barral said, we need the info about the X on Luffy's armor to be shown to the Alabasta crew. Of course. I mean, the moment that they see it, this is like kind of the stuff that we were talking about, right? Where it's like, if Vivi were to show up, it would be really interesting if she landed with Robin, Jinbei, Brooke, and Frankie. Because there's not really a relationship between them, except for, Miss All Sunday and Miss Wednesday, technically. But this is a way to kind of get that feeling where it's like, these people who don't really know Vivi now have information that the other half of the crew would completely understand and have a visceral reaction to seeing, but they don't understand it. And that is what's clever about it. It's the way to kind of utilize the fact that you've deliberately split the crew at the point where Vivi left. So, and Vivi was there in Little Garden. She has a relationship with these giants. Knows what's going on here. So, El Bukhari said, please check Wikipedia on Norwegian Civil War starting 1130, same chapter number. That's interesting. I did say that there would have to be a sort of a civil war in Elbaf in a sense, but like, from like the classes, so there would be different classes of giants. But I'm a little confused with that now because I actually thought that where Dorian Broggie are from and where all those guys are from would have been like the lower class. But maybe that is the upper class. It will meet a lower class. Changes the way that I think about things, but could be the case. The Norwegian Civil War era began in chapter 1130 after the death of King Sigurd. Didn't we get a Sigurd in the story? Isn't someone named Sigurd? With the I feel like there's a character named that Sigurd the Crusader, and it lasted until 1240. So if Oda wants to follow this, right, introducing Elbaf at 1130, are we here until 1240? That's an easy way to make a prediction here. I'm sure someone's already done it because if El Bukhari is talking about this. It's probably something going around. Causes. The war was a result of unclear succession laws. What was I talking about in the big video? Succession laws. That it may have been a situation where Loki wanted to be king, but wasn't in the line of succession. So, who is king now is a question. That's going to be something that's actually going to be really important to the story. Social conditions and the struggle between the church and the king. Okay. this is actually like really this is great because this is definitely like where the story's going. The war was fought between rival kings and pretenders to the throne, with two main factions emerging, the Burkabiner and the Bagler.
Savage.
The Burkabiner were supporters of King Severe and his descendants. Might be getting that wrong. I don't know if I'm doing these pronunciations right, but while the Bagler or the Bagler had the support of the Catholic Church and the Danish kings. Okay, so it's going to be the people that believe in the sun god and the people who don't. Alliances shifted frequently in the early years of the war, but eventually two main factions emerged. The Civil War era ended with the failed rebellion of Duke Skule Bardson in 1240. A more centralized government was gradually established after the two factions reconciled in 1217. So that could also be an important chapter number. In other events, in 1194, King Siverir won a battle near Bergen, and some of the defeated troops fled the country in 1135. Harald, didn't we just hear about a Harald? Harald captured Magnus, blinded him, and put him in a monastery. So is Loki a representation of Magnus? Now we got to look into this Magnus character, because maybe there is something to Loki being blind. Yeah, I feel like we're spoiling Elbaf here. Okay. Yeah, we got to look into Magnus. I'll do that in a bit. I want to get back to some of these chats, and then we'll look at Magnus later. Ishmael Sari said Loki in the MCU variant number is L1130 and chapter number. Yeah, Wheezy brought that up earlier, and I was looking for confirmation. So if people are saying that, then oh man, it's so insane. Math piece, and people say that I'm like I'm crazy for saying things like that. Nerd Culture said the Maramara no Mi / magma fruit seems perfect for Surtur. Well, that's also why I said like it would be interesting if Akainu does play a role in this, because part of Ragnarok is that Yggdrasil needs to burn. So if we don't actually have a Surtur, but Akainu is the stand-in for it, then yeah, hey. Pat's member for 10 months. Did you watch the fan letter episode? No, but I am caught up on Hachinosu, and I did enjoy that. Seal Vladivanovici said, I fully believe that Ors was sun god Nika, a creature so huge that he could reach the sun himself. Sun itself. That, I mean, hey, we'll find out. Alejandro Salas Superman said, sorry, it's been a while, Captain, but do you think Loki has the Gomu Gomu and the Giants didn't tell Vegapunk because it was passed down only through royals? See, that's what I was saying earlier when I was like naming fruits. I said rubber fruit because it's like the Gomu Gomu no Mi isn't in the textbook, the dictionary, whatever, the encyclopedia, but it doesn't mean that there isn't an actual rubber fruit out there. Someone has to have it. So there's a possibility. There's a possibility. Crush not. Frankie will surely confirm this is the Atom Tree when he sees it, right? My thinking is that he didn't actually go to Elbaf. He dealt with somebody a broker who dealt with carvers from Elbaf, if this happens. Because Frankie would have had no way to get into the New World and all the way at the end of the New World and get back to Water 7 in all that time period. So he had to go somewhere else where he knew that they had the wood and he could get it on the black market. Brandon King said, Randy, Loki was said to have killed his dad, killed him for a fruit. So he's pulled a Blackbeard and a Dofi. Yeah. If he's anything like a combo of both, I genuinely think he could be one of Oda's best. And if he follows a lot of the mythology and different things surrounding Loki, like we're in for a top 5 arc for sure. I'm loving it already. I'm loving everything about this. I'm excited for this. I wasn't even as excited about Wano as I am for this, because I know that like this is what One Piece is supposed to be. This is what Oda's wanted to do. So whatever he's been saving, he's not saving anything anymore. Cosmic Goaty said, I wonder how Nidhogg will play into this arc. I mean, we'll just... any sort of dragon that we see can just be a representation of Nidhogg. If Momonosuke, you know, shows up to Elbaf for whatever reason, then he could be the Nidhogg stand-in also. Shout out to Paths, who said, Lola turning down Loki and going after Absalom was my biggest surprise this chapter. Well, Loki was not her type. So, I mean, maybe she's got a thing against blind guys. Or, you know... I don't know. I'm gonna need Lola to explain. Like, I want to come up with a joke, but everything I'm coming up with is just too... I'm not coming up with good stuff. Bellamy Kobe said, 10 years pushing Hyrudan agenda pays off. Buy Cabbage... Bourgeoisie, Mary Joyce, White Horse, Sun, Mythos, Wiki, Hakuba, Yokai, Durandal, Supreme, Top 5 Fave. There's a lot going on in this super chat, and I'm having a tough time following it. What is your Hyrudan agenda? And I do know that Bourgeoisie is, you know, where the Joyce and Mary Joyce comes from, but White Horse, Sun, Mythos, Hakuba, Yokai, Durandal, Supreme. Okay. Sorry, but I'm just... there's just a lot going on here. I don't know what's... I don't know. But I like Cavendish. He's got my favorite sword name in the series, Durandal. It's got part of my name in there. Let's see. And I'm a fan of Hyrudan too. Like, I have a whole like Dressrosa shelf with like just about every character from the arc, and I didn't feel like it was complete until I finally was able to get a Hyrudan that was size accurate. Like, for years I'd look at the shelf before these groups made a Hyrudan, and I was just like, it's missing that height. Like, it doesn't have the guy. But now it's like, it's more complete. Emil Diaz said, some people think that, Hyrudan is Odin, because he's Loki's sworn bro in myth. And because his Dressrosa attack was Gungnir, Odin's spear needs to lose an eye. Oh. Hajrodin. Hyrodin. I like that. Okay. I mean, there's some heat there. Okay. Okay, that's something to think about. Oxhara said Odin is a Void Century character. That's what I want. That's what I've been saying. I'm saying if Odin exists, he should be a Void Century character because of like how like not only important is Odin to like just Norse mythology, it's like we need a cool character in the Void Century flashback, and Odin is got to be that. So I'm with you there. That's what I've been saying. Saeed said the official One Piece Twitter account announced a project that Oda will do during the 2-week break. Interesting. Okay. Chin, member for 37 months, said Loki's design is a fusion of Doflamingo and Kaido. I mean, hey, you know, let's get it. Vishnu said most underrated part of this chapter is Frankie's outfit. I don't know. I spent like 30 seconds talking about it, so. Crush Knot, appreciate the super, said Loki really giving off Fenrir vibes. The Aesir chain, that's true. Yep, okay. The Aesir chain Fenrir up. He broke free for Ragnarok. Also some Skull and Hottie vibes, chasing the sun, mashup. Yeah, I mean, I did say in the big video to let me know what, you know, everybody's thoughts would be of like, you know, the two, what the representation of the two wolves eating the sun and the moon is, but if it's going to be a thing where Loki is actually the you know, the yang to Luffy's yin, you guys know what I'm saying. That they're two sides of the same coin here. You know, they're the yin and yang. Instead of thinking of it in terms of like, I mean, Oda's going to do a thing where it's like Emu and Luffy are yin and yang, Blackbeard and Luffy are yin and yang, but here we're really getting a Loki and Luffy yin and yang thing, and it could be that they are the wolves that are going to eat the sun and the moon, you know, not literally, but metaphorically here. And yeah, that's interesting. Fenrir was chained up, so wonder if Loki is responsible for biting off someone's arm. I don't know. Brandon King, super appreciate you, man. Said killed dad for fruit. So Blackbeard plus Dofi. He's about to be peak plus raw. Goat, goat, goat. It's about to get spicy. Everybody's saying fan letters peak. It's so good that I'll cry. I imagine. I mean, Ishitani always brings the heat. We've had a real strong, consistent, just about 400 people this entire time, which is, you know, just shows how crazy this chapter is. There's Bjorn and Sig from the Giants. We learned the names on Elbaf. Yep. Groatstock supered and said Loki ate the mythical Fenrir. Fenrir was chained until Ragnarok. Yes. Shanks likely did it because he is Tyr, the god of war, mentioned in Little Garden. Shanks being Tyr, that's a good call. Because Shanks has one arm. If Shanks is the representation of Tyr, I can get on board with that. And that would actually, I mean, that would be some good Shanks hype if he was, you know, one of the ones that like was responsible for chaining Loki up. And if Luffy frees him, then that gives Shanks something to like be upset with Luffy about. So that could be interesting. I don't know if Loki's going to have the Fenrir fruit, because it depends on how important Oda deems wolf imagery in the series. Obviously, we had Jabra, but I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna go that, you know, that far with it. But I do like the idea that Shanks could be Tyr. Tyr was a son of Odin, brother of Thor, who had his arm eaten by the giant wolf Fenrir. Orchid Sea Felice said, I hope Gerd has light brown hair because I want to cosplay. Gerd has been shown in the story to have long blonde hair. Gerd was the same girl in the Mother Carmel Big Mom flashback that was friends with Lin, who is a giant. And I think they also animated the a little bit of the Grand Fleet cover story, and they may have actually shown these guys in the anime too, briefly. I could be wrong about that. I know that they did show like the Cavendish parts and the Bartolomeo part. I'm reading these chapter notes that TCB had done. Liza sent it to me. To be transparent, Elbaf was officially Romanized for the first time in a Japanese source at the end of the chapter. However, we've chosen not to update our spelling from Elbaf at this time, as revising all of our previous chapters would be a daunting task. Additionally, we don't view it as an urgent plot-relevant change, unlike Raftel becoming Laftel. We also expect Elbaf to remain more popular, as PH is an unconventional choice here, and the fanbase has long associated Elbaf with Fable. Yep, that's true. Important note, this romanization wasn't from Oda's artwork, like the spellings on bounty posters, but is instead a graphic made during Jump's lettering phase. So graphics have been inconsistent in the past. For example, names like Shiryu, yep, or later changed to Shiryu, and Reverie as Levely, yep, exactly. Furthermore, since Elbaf had no prior official romanization, it seems probable that the editorial staff simply deferred to their international partners' spelling. Yeah. And then there was one, like, Eternal Pose merchandise that had the PH on it a few years back. I remember that. In conclusion, we see room for doubt and believe it would be premature to change our spelling without further consideration. But agreed. Emil Diaz supered and said, Google Harald Fairhair, Loki and Hyruden's father. Well, I did see when I was looking up that stuff about the Norwegian Civil War, they did speak of a herald, so I do want to do that. Man, there's so much, guys. Okay. Let's see. All right. Well, guys, there's still a lot of supers to get through, a lot of stuff to go through. We didn't even like go and look back at the chapter. There's a lot to accomplish here. But a little bit of chair piece. I'll be right back. Get these likes up. Don't leave, I'll be right back. We're back. R.I.P. Iscat as Loki theory. That was I don't know who was thinking about that. All right. We're back. Let's see. Yumil supered again and said, I want a Sun Plasma Loki. Oh, that's interesting. He uses like Karasu to make serpents, wolves, horses, and skeletons, aka Sun Fenrir. First of all, Yumil, bro, why'd you cook so hard? I hit the wrong button. I meant to hit that one.
Someone cooked here.
So in Norse mythology, right? Loki has a bunch of like really weird sons. Like children. Weird children. Giant wolf. Like not a werewolf or whatever. Literal wolf for a son. Literal gigantic snake. The biggest snake in the world for a child. I'm not going to get into Sleipnir. That's its own thing. Hela is like the only one that's like partially human, right? But is also a sort of like half skeleton. Anyway. If Loki has some sort of a fruit that would cause him to like be able to, like Karasu, like divide himself up and create sentient like beings, they could be the children of Loki. And if he gives them names and like the attack names and things like that, that's clever. Like I really like that. That's really good, Yumil. Like that's one of my favorite. That's awesome. That's awesome. Like, I like that as much as I like the Smoothie rang out Big Mom thing. Let's see. Crush Not Supered and said road equals road dog or road warriors. No, I'm actually I'm team Rowdy Roddy Piper right now. That's what it is. Unhinged theories while Dad's gone. Well, that's fun. Big Stinky said it's obvious Luffy will free Loki. What if Loki chains up Luffy and the crew have to save him? You know, what if Loki has the ability to alter his size and appearance, sort of like mythological Loki, and he starts pretending to be Luffy? Like, he just replaces Luffy. Not that we need another Bon Clay or Devon in the story, but, you know, I mean, if we were going to tie up Luffy, we would need some way to kind of, like, buy us time to not immediately go looking for Luffy. Let's see here. Catching up on the chat. Want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, wow. That's a good point, Dizza. This is technically my birthday chapter. Because there's not going to be a chapter next week. Yeah. I don't think that there's going to be a stream next week either, guys.
Savage.
Just because Oda's taking his break, and I'm kind of gonna take my own, because I have a lot of things that I gotta handle. So, like, I'm not even. I gotta leave Los Angeles. I gotta handle things, and then it's a good time for a break. So there's not gonna be an analysis for this either. I'm not going to be streaming. I'm not taking my microphone or camera with me. And then when I get back, whenever that is, then we'll get back to everything. Hoping to be back before my birthday, though. But, we'll see. Does this a Vivi for the birthday? Yeah. Well, I it would be really nice is if the next chapter actually follows up on this thread, right? Which Red Hood 52 is kind of talking about here. It's like, Renee, not sure if you talked about this already, but what are your thoughts about Vivi and the X? Do you think she drops in Elbaf to rejoin the crew? I absolutely do. It's been one of my longest theories, and this is only serving it, So it's like we got the 3D 2Y. You go back to Vivi analyzing the newspapers and everything, like the rest of the crew did during 3D2I. She was right there with the paper looking at the tattoo. So she's there with Big News Morgan. She definitely walked up to that picture, drew the X on there right before it went to print. So she's sending a message to them, letting them know, like, hey, like, I'm wherever the newspaper is. Now, I don't know how that translates with her getting to Elbaf, or if it means that the Straw Hats will recognize that after Elbaf, they have to find wherever the newspaper is, because they're going to see it as like a cry for help, or like you know, something, right? Could they get on a snail with somebody else? Who else could go and get Vivi for them that they would trust? Like, I mean, a Grand Fleet member perhaps, but does Luffy send out Hyrodin to go find Big News Morgans, and then like they you know, he carries Vivi back, or do Dory and Brogy offer to go? How are they going to find the ship? Or does Big News Morgans conveniently actually just come to Elbaf? It's tough to figure out the trajectory. But it's very clear that Oda is sending a message like, no, Vivi is coming back. And presenting it to the other crew members is like feeding my agenda that Vivi will not only come back to the crew, but be a crew member. So it's great. Crushnaut said, so if this is your birthday chapter, what reference to you did Oda hide in this chapter? I mean, the X on the arm, like, that's, what more could I want? Crushnaut said, seems like Robin was putting it together. Maybe she's involved in getting Vivi as a way of saying sorry. I mean, there'll need to be some way for, you know, that the Miss Wednesday, Miss All Sunday stuff will have to get addressed, but Robin, unless she was told, which it seems like she wasn't able to put it together right away, she doesn't know the significance of the X's. Seems like that's just something that never came up in conversation while riding around with the Straw Hats. Leonora Martin said, fun fact, today marks exactly 22 years exactly since the episode with the goodbye to Vivi with the X was released. It's fun, because it's also the anniversary of the anime to begin with today. So Tomato said, happy early birthday, Captain. Yeah, we're 11 days away, so it's super early, but you know, we're going on break, so appreciate you guys. Reddit52 said, Sabo needs to tell Luffy and Vivi about everything. I think Vivi comes back, and the next arc will heavily involve the Revolutionary Army. I'm calling it now. Cobra's final message put sort of like a ticking clock on Luffy, Vivi, and Sabo being in a room together. So it's like, it's not even a prediction, it's a guarantee that at some point in the story those three will be together, which is fun, and I'm just waiting for it, you know? Like, that was why I loved 1085, because I was like, okay, we're not skipping this. This is happening. It's going to happen. Brandon King said, theory, Loki has the atom Loki. He can change his atoms to look like anyone or anything, become any element, and he got it from the atom tree. That's interesting. Because I do want Loki to be able to do anything, basically, because that's what Luffy can do now. He can manifest things. So it's like, do I think that he'll actually have that? No, but I think you're on the right track of like what Loki should be able to do, what he should be able to accomplish. He should be able to like manifest things and do wild, crazy things, like make goggles appear out of thin air like Luffy can. He has to believe that he can be the sun god in some way, and you know, stories of old are probably going to explain, like, yeah, the White Warrior could create anything out of thin air, you know, so if he can turn himself white and create anything out of thin air, then he's going to believe that he's the sun god too, and Luffy's going to have to, you know, box him for the title. Ugh. Happy birthday to Diz's mom. Diz said, so Oda and Randy are both taking a break at the same time. Coincidence? I think not. Do I think Loki's the bad guy, as the Giants mentioned him, or is there more than meets the eye? There's always more than meets the eye. And, you know, there's always multiple sides to a story, and, you know, do we have reliable narrators? You know, what... It's going to be a toss-up. We got to see. Maybe Loki's not a bad guy, right? But, I mean, it's kind of implied that he is. He wants to... Seems like he wants to like raise things to the ground. So, but maybe he's got a reason. He wants to bring the whole world to an end. Like that's crazy talk. He's, you know, jutting his tongue out like Bellamy and Doflamingo, so you know it's like that's what we're dealing with here. Just catching up here. All right, so let's go back to the chapter. Take another look at everything here. Okay, so they've been searching for them. Search came up null. They exit the castle. They appear to be in what could be Niflheim. And they see Gerd, Bill Goldberg, and Rowdy Piper. The Straw Hats don't realize that these are actually friendlies here. We get the confirmation that Ja Rule is still alive. Oh, I actually see the wolves now. I missed that earlier. Like I heard them, like I read them talking about the wolves, but I didn't actually see them. It's whoever I heard roaring back in the Block Kingdom, I think. Has anybody gone back yet? Is there a moment that we can pinpoint in the past 3 chapters where Luffy heard something but couldn't pinpoint it? I feel like that happened. So then Luffy jumps down, probably to what is considered Helheim. And also interesting to note, I just realized this and put this together, I'm sure others have as well, is that we're in this frozen hell, right? And it's kind of like level 5 of Impelled Down. And there were wolves there too. So... wolves and snow seem to be a connected thing to Oda. Okay, so then we got the papers. They attacked Egghead. Dorian Brogy got some, 1.8 billion berry gas. Gotta love it. The inflation talk. And then that X baby. I was just looking at this page with the, the X on the arm. I'm just really happy that it's all kind of like coming back around. Full circle storytelling, baby. Like, you gotta love it. And yeah, Dorian Brogy here as well. They knew Vivi. Well, you know what's actually... See, here's the thing, right? Is I talked a lot about Succession. Not the HBO show, but the line of Succession. If Hyrden and Loki are brothers, Hyrden is the older brother. So, he would be king before Loki, which implies also to me that there are more brothers, and there should be. Now, I did have a theory based on the Norse god Bragi, who is one of Odin's sons, god of poetry, that Bragi could be a representation of Bragi and have actually had a secret nobility. There's still a possibility for that. Maybe less likely now that we're talking about this and the way that Brogy's talking about Hyrden. Because technically speaking, I was thinking of Brogy as like one of the king's sons. So that would make him Hyrden's brother and also Loki's brother. But he talks about Hyrden as removed from himself. But that's also potentially a way that Although, maybe this is a clue here. I mean, I don't know how it translates in the Japanese, but he says, like, Brogy says, we had this youngster named Hyrodin on our crew. I hear he's your follower now. And then Kashi says, he's the son of a king too, you know. Was a real tempestuous brat, though. And I might be reading it into it too much, but if this was foreshadowing, because he's directly addressing Brogy, right? So if he's the son of a king too, to Brogy, he could be saying, like, he's also a son of a king like you are. It could be that Brogy is just the son of a different king, but he still has some sort of nobility. And if they're all from the same area, it may be that they are from an area like where most characters have some sort of nobility. So maybe I don't want to rule it out completely just yet, but either way, I'm getting away from the topic that I wanted to talk about, and it's just the line of succession. So Loki would have wanted to be king, but he would have had Hyrodin in front of him and potentially some other people as well. So for him to kill his father, you know, it's probably because, like, it's not following the line of succession. So I want to know what sort of battles Hyrodin and Loki got into. Ooh, okay. That's better. Saeed said in Japanese, Brogy didn't say that he was part of their crew. He just said one of ours. Okay, great. So Viz made a translation error. Steven translated that wrong. Because it's a plot hole. He wouldn't have been a part of their crew. He's too young. I said that at the beginning. So if the Japanese just says, yeah, I like that. Who's still a kid, Chin? Loki's not older than Hyrodin. Loki was born during the Mother Carmel Big Mom flashback, and Hyrodin was already, like, you know, a preteen. So, no. Ooh, I didn't catch this earlier, but the king had another official child. Okay. So the king was out here. We got some Robert Baratheon action going on here. Like, that's crazy talk to say another official child. So there's gonna be some other children. There's gonna be at least one unclaimed child in the streets of Elbaf. And that unclaimed child, that's who will probably be king at the end of all of this. So we need to find out who's the unclaimed one. Loki and Blackbeard are going to have a lot in common here. You know, desperate desire for a legendary devil fruit. Passed down through the Elbaf royal line, meaning that nobody else since the Void Century would have had this fruit. It's really interesting. I'd like to see a conversation between Loki and Blackbeard and just see how, like, they, you know, just get on. Next time that Loki is unleashed, the world will be brought to ruin. So Luffy's going to start Ragnarok by freeing Loki. What a chapter. So, what's our take, guys? Are we saying that Warland is the island? Like in the way that the Alabastic Kingdom is actually on Sandy Island. Shell's Town is a part of Yotsuba. And that Elbaf is the kingdom on top of Warland. This is also, like, realistically one of the first times that Elbaf has been considered a kingdom, because kingdoms are usually reserved for islands affiliated with the world government. Brandon said, thoughts on Loki being Blackbeard's last crewmate? He has that same hunger for chaos plus kills. Yeah. I was thinking about that when I was talking about, you know, I want him and Blackbeard to meet. So, you know, there is an element there where it's like, there's a possibility, but it also depends on, you know, the characterization here. Is Loki the big bad of Elbaf? I don't think so. I don't think that he should be, but there's a lot of things pointing here that's like, you know, I think that there should be a bunch of factions that come here. Like Blackbeard should get involved. Akainu should get involved. Like there should be a bunch of stuff that's going on here, and Loki should just be moving around and like manipulating things from the background, and then hopefully becomes actually a, you know, a fight for Usopp to prove himself. Because Luffy's gonna have, you know, bigger problems. Crushnaut said Ragnarok starts when both the sun and moon are eaten. If Luffy's the sun, then we need a moon character too. Yeah, I talked about that in the big video. And I did talk about it in terms of Blackbeard and or Garling. And I mentioned that, you know, if Oda wanted to retread Skypiea, you know, he could have Luffy fall into the belly of a beast, you know, a giant Elbafian beast, but this time he can't actually punch his way out of it. And maybe, like, the fight between him and Blackbeard, or the fight between him and Garling, or something, you know, happens inside the belly of this beast, or the belly of the beast ends up being Garling after he gets whatever power up from Emu. But there's a good shot that Luffy ends up inside of another animal in this arc, like he did in Skypiea. Emil said the treetop was not revealed. I like the cannons. Yeah, I like the cannons on the side too. I talked earlier about the treetop not being revealed, and that's deliberate because there's definitely something above. It might be a way for them to get to the moon. You know, it might be Oda trying to hide what he has set for Valhalla or something along those lines. So there's going to be a lot to explore here. You know, we could be here until chapter 1240. It's possible. Mr. Valdo, that is exactly what's happening. Vivi is telling her location by drawing the X. She's sending a message to the 6 people that would understand, in the same way that Luffy sent a picture of himself in the newspaper with a tattoo for only, 7 other people to understand. Volkazard said, imagine Hyruden, rightful heir to the throne, declares Usopp their leader. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. God Usopp. Like, it's... We're gonna get so much in Elbaf here, and we're gonna go back to that shot of Hyruden holding up Usopp and just be like, wow. Like, in hindsight, this is crazy. Because Hyruden is literally like, the king apparent to Elbaf. There is a link to the Discords in the description of every video and stream. Oh, wow. I'm just catching up. Miles said, I kind of want there to be multiple islands to Elbaf, and Moorland's just the main one. Where else is Sniper Island? Well, I mean, it's definitely going to be that way. Like, as you get into the treetops, you're going to get into the other lands and realms and all that. It's going to be interesting to see what the names of everything are, because that's what's going to, like, classify stuff. Like, if we start getting into names of towns and they're ending in Heim or stuff, then we could get a lot of different areas. And I think that this is, a real opportunity for Oda to give us a bunch of stuff, a bunch of ideas for different islands and everything in one island. So, like, if they get above the treetops and it's like everything is emerald, right? And we're actually in the Emerald City, it could be something like that. But we go into a different area and it's something radically different from that. And there's a lot of opportunities here for Oda to do that and kind of give us a real satisfying conclusion to the story where, we get jam-packed with a bunch of things and it's like, wow, as One Piece fans, we really had it all. We really did it all. Sniperheim. Jin said if Enel comes back down from the tree. I mean, I'm saying it. He may already be there. Who knows? New SBS and Viva cards in 2 weeks. Yeah, I just saw the... I mean, I don't know what... I haven't seen the final of the new volume cover, but apparently Saturn is purple. Saturn's yokai form is purple. Emil said, I still want a Logia user on the crew. I mean, I'll take Smoker. That's Morge's theory, and I like that one. It'd be really funny if, like, we start, like, you know, we get to a different part of Elbaf and someone's like, welcome, this is Sniper Island. And for the past 2 years, they've been looking for Sogeking. Oh, let's see here. You know what? I forgot to do this earlier. This should have happened. But this chapter, being as amazing as it is, yeah.
I'm about to make a name for myself, yeah.
This chapter was too good. Too good. So what are some are there any things that other people are talking about the chapter? Any other interesting things people are bringing up? So I'm looking up Harold Fairhair. He ruled Norway as a fair, just, and powerful king for over 50 years. Today is revered as the father of his people. Greatest king in Norwegian history. Central figure of the Viking era. Getting a lot of stuff for the Vikings television show when I look up Harold. I guess that was a plot point. Like a main character or something. Yeah, I can't read all of that now. There's a lot of stuff there. Blazer said in chapter 714, they say Hyruden's punches are like bolts of thunder. Thor reference. Jin said favorite panel, Luffy with the X. You gotta think about it. Barry said, I think we may have finally been able to convince my sister to start reading because of how hyped the D&D crew was over it. I saw you guys in the, chatting, was it yesterday or something? Oh, I was going to jump in, but got caught up. But, I mean, now's the right time, right? 6-month break. She's caught up to the anime. Can't watch the anime. Now's the time. Brandon King said, makes you wonder why Loki rejected him, is what people were thinking about. Was it just because he's chaotic and evil? See, that's the thing, though, is like, but she was into Absalom. And Absalom was like a deviant, a predator, a man who eats grapes, a grape enthusiast, sordid tyrant, worthy of being killed off screen. So what is Loki? You know, that's my question. That's but she settled on Gotti, one-armed gangster. Reddit said people were mostly talking about 1 Vivi, 2 Loki, 3 the bounties, 4 the new giant pirates versus the giant pirates, Herald, and the tree in Elbaf versus Warland. Yeah, I mean, that's still a lot of stuff. Giant sword in the tree. Yeah, we'll see if that becomes relevant. Krishan said the tree we saw in the background of previous Elbaf panels was skinny, but this tree's fat. Were those just the waterfalls of this tree that we previously saw and thought were the tree? So, if they are waterfalls from the tree, that ties into Norse mythology, because all water flows down from Valhalla off of the antlers of Eikthenir into the springs of Vergelmir, which is located in Niflheim, and then spreads out into the rest of the world. And that's where we get our water. So that's why I was saying in the big video that it's very possible that all blue exists on Elbaf, because there's too much mythology stating that all water from the world flows from Yggdrasil, essentially. Chin said, can't wait for OPLA Season 2. I'm repping right now. New drip. Found it at Box Lunch the other day. I love it. I think it's the best thing that they've made. Alex Mirren said that was her shadow. This is Lola slander. I mean, Your shadow's still part of you. I have not watched the fan letter yet. I do want to. But I don't know if I'm ready for watch throughs just yet. Off Brand said, be under Foxy or Bartolomeo. Love you, Randy. Thanks, Off Brand. Neither. I'm my own man. I'm a captain. Well, if I say Bartolomeo, I'm underneath the water right now. I've been blown up by Yasop. But if I had to choose, I mean, Barto would be more fun. Or maybe Foxy's more fun. You're playing games the whole time. I don't know. Red Hood 52 supered and said, Black Mirror, Big Mom pirates come and get kicked down the waterfall. That'd be hilarious. What a callback. Brian said, I wonder if Pizarro can merge with all of Elbaf. Likely. At least part of it. I'd rather he merges with Wano so he can unearth Pluton, though. See. Thanks, Red Hood. He said, Randy has too much clout to fall underneath them. He has the disposition of a king. Appreciate that. Elbaf better be hiding a few poneglyphs too. I mean, I think we'd be disservicing Robin if we didn't have some poneglyphs here. I mean, there's definitely enough real estate for Saul to hide and like have all those books and all this other stuff. And it's crazy too, because it's like Gerd and Goldberg. Did we see Rado Road and 1066? Was he there too, helping with the books and stuff? I know at least Gerd was there, so it's like they're there and can take them where they need to go. But they also don't have Robin with them, which is like the crazy thing, because it's like it may be a situation where this section of the crew, like maybe not Luffy, but like Nami, Chopper, Usopp, Sanji, and Zoro meet Saul, right? But they don't have Robin with them. That I actually think that could really happen. And then that's kind of a flip on like the way I was saying like Vivi should meet Jinbei, Frankie, Robin, and Brooke first. And it's like there's just these cross paths where the people who need to be there with a particular person are not there yet. Saeed said, no, we only saw Hyruden, Gerd, and Goldberg. Yeah, that's what I thought. BK said, Balder in One Piece will be bald and be called No Beard. That's funny. So, what would that be, like, No Hige? What would that be in Japanese? see. Emil said the Alabasta crew is heading to the mid-canopy tree section. The Frankie crew is arriving at the frozen mountain section. It would be interesting for Luffy to then reunite with everybody else, and then he's like leading his later crew for a little bit. That would be like a pairing that we really haven't seen at all. Like none of the original crew, but Luffy and like the later guys. That'd be interesting. Emil said, I do hope we get to see Yeti cold giants. Yeah, there really should be frost giants. And I did say, like, if we see that there's a frozen part of Elbaf, that could happen. So that may be coming soon. But I think I'm going to start wrapping things up here, guys. I have to get things ready, catch a plane, and all this other stuff. So, thanks everybody. This was a great chapter. Like, really great chapter. So, any last things that anybody wants to get in before we end? You know, do that now. Another 2 minutes here, and then yeah. No stream next week. Up in the air the following week. So, Oda's taking a break. I'm taking a break. I really do want to do an analysis on this, but I mean, I just legitimately do not have the real estate in my schedule for it. So, but there is enough here to where it would be fun to do some content, but I'm not going to be in the studio to be able to do all of it. I will unfortunately not be having a wonderful time. This is not a fun flight. But I'll make the best. I don't know. I wasn't really. I don't really think I was spoiled on Loki, Chin. Like, I mean, I saw something. I didn't see what Loki looked like. I just saw like Luffy looking at something. So, do I have time to watch Fan Letter on my own? Not with everybody. I'll probably, I'll find some time to watch it. I do want to. I'm not going to be able to. I don't have the time to do it here. Yes, like D-Stream. Thanks, Barry. Appreciate that. Shout out to the Tilter.
Together we're stronger. Together we're stronger.
We're stronger together. We are stronger together.
Another one, and another one, another one, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, another one, and another one.
It was more than 10, but I just had fun pressing the button at that point.
Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
So, big shout out to Lucy B getting one, Hyken, Blue Blah, May Green, Tim Black, Mud Butter, Podgastic, Pusmo, Adamir Alves, Oakley Turner, Henry
I'm about to make a
DH.
name for myself here.
The Vivi emoji. You guys are great. Red Hood 52 said, "Wish you the best of luck, brother. Stay strong in tough times." Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. A lot of stuff I just got to get through. Hope everybody has a good break. Hope whatever Oda's got planned on the 5th. Well, I'll be back before the 5th. So, at least that's my plan. So, we're not going to worry about it. When is the next chapter? Shout out to the Tilter for joining.
Another one.
When is the next chapter? When is it supposed to come out? Because I don't even know. November 10th. Okay. We'll be here for that. Definitely. So, no worries there.
Another one.
Appreciate that, Miles. And Tilter said thanks and wish you the best, boss. Thank you. Appreciate you. I haven't played Sparking Zero yet. I don't know when I'm going to get the time. But, yeah. Official on the 10th. Yeah, so that's when we'll be here. And then we'll see. Stay tuned to community posts. Stay tuned to the Discord. Figure something out. Whenever I get back, I don't know. Maybe we'll do something. I'll probably have already watched the fan letter at that point, and no one's gonna care at that point anyway. But again, that's it for me. What a chapter. It's I haven't had even time to open these, but they just made these, so it's like it's all in time, all in line. It's really cool. And this was the missing piece. Just got this. Yeah, that's it. That's how we end this one. Put the X's in the chat. I forgot that's the emoji. Yeah, we have that one. Drop that. And we got all these new members. Like, yeah. Flood with that. Show you guys the Dressrosa shelf. Is it gonna reach? Oh, I know what I'll do. A little wonky, but that's there. Big Vivi chapters definitely incoming. Love that. Look at all that. You guys are the best. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
I've been swimming deep, deep. Savage.